Hi FlossTube Stitchers, welcome back to my channel. You know, I just thought of something. I wonder why I say hi here, but then when I post the link on Facebook and Instagram, I say, hey, FlossTube Stitchers. Maybe it's because here I'm saying, hi, it's me, I'm back again. And on social media, I'm saying, hey, come watch me. Maybe that's why. I actually just noticed that today, and it wasn't on purpose, but that's probably what I mean. So I hope this doesn't come as a huge disappointment to you today, but all I have to show you is stitching. Yes, I know it's a stitching channel, but what I mean is I have no pretty fabric, no new charts, kinda, nothing else to talk about except stitching. So that might be exciting or it might be boring. We'll see. I'm gonna start with our new shop model because it's the biggest. So I'm gonna keep that on the bottom of my table, keep everything in order. And the theme is Halloween. So who stitched it? Yes, Marlene. I showed it yesterday for my show and tell Saturday on social media, so you might have seen it. This is what the chart looks like. It's called Halloween in the Rain. And once again, Marlene has made it her own. I didn't ask any questions because actually when she loaned us the pieces, I wasn't looking at the chart, so I didn't know what she had changed. But she left off the border and she left off a bunch of the raindrops, and that might be because her fabric is a little messier and maybe she figured they didn't show. Some things are in different places. The clouds are different shapes. So I think we all need to take a lesson from Marlene, and if you lose your place or make a mistake or just want to change something on your own, go ahead and do it. It's your stitching. It's your piece when you're finished with it. So that's what the original looks like. I don't know what fabric she used. And like I've said before, she often uses fabric from her stash, and we've had multiple fabric trunk shows before, so she might have purchased it there. She might have gotten it online. She might have gotten it sometime on the tour, our Ohio Tour to Stitch. So I'm not sure what it is, but it's kind of cool. So this is Halloween in the Rain, and I do have some in stock, and I've had some interest in them, so I'll probably be ordering more next week. So anyway, it's really quirky. I like the lettering. I like the ghost. I like the witch. There's so many things you could stitch on their own if you have a Halloween tree. All right, so that's that. Then my vintage stitch. I did not stitch this, but I own it, so it's still my vintage stitch. So I'm going to show you the chart because it's a free chart. It was called Friendship Sampler from The Good Housewife. And the date on the chart is 1998. And it was given to us at the same time as another chart from Barrick Samplers, Kathy Barrick. And I have it together. I've always included it together. So I don't know if it actually came together from the two of them because I know they're really good friends. Or if they were both just half-size charts and they're kind of samplerish, and so I put them on the same thing. But anyway, I have it as one page like this. And I don't know why we never stitched that one. It's called Bright Birds, and it's really cute and quirky. And so anyway, I do have copies of these, and of course I found it so I can make more. And I'll probably start throwing this in the mix when I send free charts with your mail orders. But if you are not local and you would like this with an order, just specifically ask for the Good Housewife Friendship Sampler, and then you'll get both of these. All right, so I had to do a little bit of research before I showed it, but this is what our model looked like. I haven't had it up in the shop for quite a while. I think I took it down because obviously it's a free chart, so I can keep giving it out. But I think the frame was long ago discontinued, and it just, it's kind of hard to tell people, nope, we can't get it. But it's actually an outer frame, an inner frame, and a fillet. And judging by the initials, BJS, I don't remember what my framer's middle name is, but that does sound familiar. So I think Bonnie stitched it and framed it as an advertisement for her framing service. So this was a long time ago. And we may have been new associates at the time. But it's done on, I'm pretty sure, 32 count cream linen, just like it called for, with all DMC threads. And so anyway, it's kind of funky, and the wide frame isn't for everybody, but at the time we were trying to show off different things from what you normally saw in frame shops. And this was hanging on my dining room wall, so like last week, I just grabbed it off the wall to bring it today to show you. So that was the vintage. All right, now, MAYnia. My goal was to only work on whips. Did I do that? Yes, I did. I followed my own rules. You know, I don't always have rules. Whatever. I stitch what I want. I do freebie February because I enjoy showing people that stitching doesn't have to be expensive, and there's a lot of generous designers out there who have given us some really cool stuff. So I really like doing that. I've only done 31 MAYnia starts once, and I have not finished all of those pieces, so I probably, you know, don't want to do that again anytime soon. That was a lot, but it was fun when I did it. But anyway, I think I got more done than I thought I would. I didn't exactly plan it. I was just looking at whips from not too long ago, and I was honestly looking for things that would be quick to finish so that I didn't just end up with all these whips still at the end of May. So here's how it went. Here are things that are still whips. So I was working on seasonal etchings by Heart and Hand, of course. And since the last time I showed this, I finished the green fish, and I took out that upper row of muddy puddle branches because I didn't like the way the dark color had shown up. So I took that out. So that's what I got done on seasonal etchings. And you've seen these, so I'm not gonna spend a lot of time. I don't think I got much more accomplished on a Mighty Fortress. I really wanted to. I pulled some of the other colors I needed that I hadn't. Oops, there's a hair on the fabric. I pulled some of the other colors, but I don't think I got very far because I still have to remove all the leaves. I just don't like the way the leaves work. I don't understand what kind of leaves they're supposed to be. I don't know why my colors are not playing together like hers did. They're different dye lots. They look weird. I'm really not sure what I'm going to do about the leaves. I may have to take some graph paper and actually chart them out so that my dye lots look right. So I was really kind of hoping that this one would get more time this month, but it didn't. But that's okay. It'll get done eventually. So that was Heartstring Samplery. This was another one. This was from this year's freebie February called Ever Blessed. And I'm doing it on 28 Lima Bean from Mystic Fabrics with Molasses Weeks Dye Works. And when I showed this on social media, I noticed that it looked black, and it kind of looks black here too, but it's Weeks Dye Works Molasses. And it really is a pretty brown in person, and I wanted a dark brown so that there would really be a contrast between the fabric. But I did all of the leaves and the acorn on the side there. So that was just like one night's work. So it might only be one more night's work, like a long evening. And then the thread is still there because when I looked at my notes and saw what I wrote on social media when I first posted this, I said I was thinking of expanding the turkey feathers just so they were a little wider. And then the ear is really big right there. And I was thinking of leaving that off and stitching more pumpkins. But then I got the idea that maybe I'm going to look for some wooden buttons, acorns and pumpkins, or something else fall related. Somehow wood just jumped in my head. And since it'll probably go in a wooden frame, so it's kind of coordinated. I didn't want to mix button styles. I didn't want to use plastic because that didn't kind of go with the samplery looking theme of it or the style of it. So anyway, that's why that thread is still there. So again, need to get the graph paper out and so that I'm not leaving any floss fuzzies on the fabric if I have to take out what I add. So I'll just get some graph paper out and try that. Okay. Then the last real whip is Coffee First from With Thy Needle and Thread. And I think I got more of the cup done since I showed it last. So again, this will probably be like 3 more evenings because there's still a good evening's worth of the cup, and then there's other beans over here and her head and the coffee cup. So maybe 2 or 3 more long evenings on that one. Okay, then these are my finishes. So with a couple caveats. And I'm going in alphabetical order by designer, only because I had to figure out something. So this, oh, and the heartstring and the heart and hand, the first 2 that I showed you, they were from my NYE 12x12 from New Year's Eve. So that was what that was from. Oh, and the With Thy Needle, the coffee one was too. So those, all 3 of those were from, and then the other one was Freebie February. So this is another one from this year's Freebie February. This is Spooky from Heart and Hand, and this came as a newsletter attachment. So I'm happy about that. Some of these, I may have had them finished last time or almost finished, but just as a recap, showing them again. All right, the next one is, I'm going to show it together just so you can see. I did use most of the recommended colors, and I used the exact fabric, and it's not an accurate looking picture, I guess. So that's the difference in how it looks. So this is Java Junkie. And all I had left to do was part of one of the letters, and then I had to backstitch. Now it's not immediately obvious, but there's backstitching on one side of the lightest color in the lettering. I don't know if you can see that dark, it's 3371 DMC. And I wasn't sure it would make that big of a difference. I almost thought of leaving it off, but then I thought, what the heck, I'll try it. And it really did kind of emphasize the letter, so I was glad I did it. So all the colors are the same as what she used, but I changed the cup to blue. So you can see that the browns and the creams don't look the same. I'm still happy with it, and it still looks good in my kitchen. I did not attach the spoon yet because I don't know how I'm gonna finish this yet. And I have other spoons that are more decorative and bigger. And if I decide to use a spoon like in the middle of the bow or to the side of some kind of finish, then I may not add the extra spoon there. I could just save that for something else. So that's Java Junkie. Then the next one, Homespun Elegance. All I had done before, this was also a freebie from this year. I think all I had done was the lettering, the tree, and the reindeer. So and maybe the roof of the house. So I filled in the house, added the windows and the white, and then the candy cane. And there were some other white squigglies up here, but I think I'm using a higher count fabric than the designer originally did, and they were not necessary. It forced the angel to go too far out of range of the finishing constructs. So I left off that other white because it wasn't anything. It was just like a little checkerboard. It didn't add anything to it. So anyway, this is going to be a sweet little ornament or something. I love Homespun Elegance. I could just stitch her for a whole year. She's done so many ornaments and other samplers and things, and lots of patriotic, but you know me, I can't play favorites. I gotta stitch a little bit of everything. But I'm so glad that's finished. There wasn't much to do, but there was a lot of little fussy stuff. Okay, then Lottie Da's Heart and Hand. And this again was done on 32 feldspar using, let's see, I don't have the floss here. I think I was using Onyx and Tennessee Red Clay. Whatever it is, I said it last time I showed it because I've already shown it finished. Okay, then the next one, all right, this one really isn't finished, but I had it on my finished list because there was so little to do. I was just positive that I would accomplish it, but I just had some hiccups. So this is Deer Valley Inn, which I think was part of Little House Needleworks ornament series, and I wasn't sure I was going to do it as an ornament because I do have a reindeer collection, so I thought maybe I would do it as a stand-up easel or in a little frame. And I had everything done except the year. I thought I had to wind under all of the red stitches in the center of the flowers because I don't do the pin stitch. I'm afraid of the pin stitch, and I know Misty from Luminous Fiber Arts has tried to talk me through it, and I don't know, I'm still afraid of it, but I guess I managed to figure out how to wind the red thread under so you couldn't see it. And then I have to do the greenery on his neck. Probably the reason I didn't do it in the beginning is because the greenery over here just does not look good. It looks like I used two different colors, but I was using Weeping Willow, which is what it called for, and I didn't like the way the green panned out, so I was going to remove that. And so I thought, well, why stitch that? Maybe I'll just end up doing that in a solid color. I can't find that Weeping Willow. I found another Weeping Willow, but it was a full skein, so it couldn't have been what I was using. I looked everywhere, can't find it. And these were all stacked up someplace, so it should have been close by, but I couldn't find it. Then I was going to leave off the year, but I would have had to put some more flowers or something up there and do that darn red middle stitch again, or put something else there. I suppose I could have put my initials, but then I thought, well, it says inn, and usually an inn is established in a year, and they have that someplace, you know, on the house or near the house. So, but I couldn't change it to anything else because there wasn't room to make the last two letters bigger. And again, I don't like the way my thread panned out. The 1 and the 7 are darker, and the 8 and the 1 are really light. And the way this Little House Brown is dyed, you don't get enough dark in a row to do it. So I may take out the 8 and the 1 and use another strand of the floss so they're all dark. But why am I so picky? Come on, you know you are too. Then my other issue, and I don't know whether I already changed it, but I remember telling people I didn't like the way the windows looked because they looked like they blended right into the house. But I think I already changed that. I think I changed it because I think what happened was the real dark part ended up being over the door, and you couldn't tell it from the door. It just looked like a blobby looking door. So I actually think I already changed that, and I was using mostly the lighter part. So I kind of surprised myself when I got it out because it was farther along than I thought it was. But darn it, I just need to either find a solid color that will work, that will kind of look like Weeping Willow, or I need to search more and find that original. That was a whole lot of talking about a little piece, wasn't it? Sheesh. Okay, so I'm calling that done because it's going to be like 2 minutes of stitching or less. All right, then next I had a Pine Mountain pillow that I was starting on like April 2nd or April 3rd or something like that. I think I showed you the kit and I showed you some other finished spring pillows, but I didn't show you this. So I actually did stitch the whole thing. Happy Egg Day. I always change the Aida to a linen or an even weave. I believe this is 32 count white Joblin. And because I like it, you know, sometimes the opening is not always, you know, perfectly square because it's fabric, and then by the time you put some batting in there and then put the thing, sometimes I like to have a little more space so that none of the stitching is touching the fabric. And I could have had it completely finished, but I couldn't find my scraps of Thermolam, and I didn't want to cut into a new piece. So I just need to trim it and put it in there. And what I think I'm going to try this time is I'm going to, when I trim, you know, because it's always scary to trim your piece that small, I'm going to trim it, and then I'm actually going to baste it to the Thermolam. I've never thought to do that before, but I think I'm going to baste it to at least the top layer of Thermolam. Sometimes I put in 2 or 3 layers just to get a nice cushy effect to the pillow. And we'll see how that works. Maybe it won't be as scary to put it in there, and I won't have to, you know, stick my hand in too many times to straighten it out. So that'll be a new little trick that I'm trying. Okay, then next is I did Halloween basket from Primrose Cottage, 13 Spooky Smalls. Yes, I can read backwards. And you've seen this before. Well, unless this is your first video. So that's that. And then I believe you've also seen this finished. This is also by Primrose, that I started last November, I think. And I had hello and 2 of the hats, so I finished the other 3 hats. And then next is, this is by the Sampler Girl from her blog, and this was from Freebie February. This is a quote from Little Women, but I didn't do enough research to see what character it was. You might know. I read Little Women, but I don't read literary things more than once or whatever. So I don't remember who said it, but I'd rather take coffee than compliments just now. And the day that I worked on it in February, I just had compliments just now. That's all I had stitched. So I added all the rest. And she had made the straw green, and I'm sure they didn't have those kind of cups back in the day, so that I'm sure that was a nod to Starbucks. And of course I matched up the green. I think it's DMC 319, I think looked like a good match to their logo. So that was fun. And I went to Hobby Lobby last night just on the off chance that they might have some coffee bean fabric, and they didn't, and I haven't had a chance to go online and look, but they told me there's so much more fabric online. So that was now coffee. And then the last one, oh yeah. So the last one, I also put in my finish list, but it's not, because I still haven't finished, I still haven't found the Lexington green that I started with. I need to finish I need to stitch, what do I need? Have and the ELF in yourself. That's all I need to stitch on there. Oh, and to fill in the top tree with the lighter green. And my other skein of Lexington green at home is too light, and so is the one at the shop, which is, you know, it could have been from the same dye lot. So again, this is going to be like, you know, half an hour or something. It's going to be nothing. And again, I looked everywhere, and it can't be from the full skein. And this, I think, is too light, and I think it would be hard to read. I think if I had changed the color, then there would be another light green that would have been in the pile with this, and the only thing with it was this. So I think it had a partial skein in the bag, and that's what I was using. Who knows where it is now? So that's that. Okay, so that's all my stitching. That was my MAYnia. I didn't count it up. Let's see, I had I had 3 continuing whips, and 4 continuing whips, and then I had 4, did I have 8? 10. Whatever. That's a lot. I mean, that was really good. I am like very excited to start a new stitch, and I don't know what that's going to be right now. I haven't yet. I've just been continuing to work on the whips. So today's the 4th, and for Flags on the 4th, I used just 1 length of thread, just so I could say I stitched on something today. And I'm working on, this was a freebie February from, let's see, I didn't do it last year because I had a broken elbow. So this was probably from 21, Land That I Love by the Scarlet House. And this one can be found in the files of the Facebook group Star Spangled Stitchers. When I posted it the first time, all I had done was the blue field of the flag. That's what I did in one night because I was starting a new freebie every day. And then today I just added one length of the white, and instead of oatmeal, I wanted it a little bit whiter, so I'm using 3865, which is a little bit more off-white than their regular white, but it's not as yellow as, say, 712 would be. So there was a whole discussion about this in a Facebook group the other day. Everybody was recommending 3865, and I agree. That's good. The other color, let's see, that's in, the blue field is actually in soot, which is interesting. It's a very blue-gray. And then the red is going to be Country Redwood, and this was out of stock for quite a while, and I didn't have it at home, so I'm glad that finally came in, so that I really could keep working on this one. And then the black is Black Licorice, so I will continue to work on that. Alrighty. Oh, and that was 32 count Helix linen from Picture This Plus. Alrighty, what next? Okay. The winners of, this is longer than I thought it was going to be. I didn't think I had a lot to talk about. So the hands-on design, the three of their new charts that I got last week were part of the giveaway. So A Classic Christmas goes to Celia Middleton. Penguin Pear goes to Sandra Kramer. And Puffin Party goes to Sharon Lesbrance. And what's really interesting about this, oh, and she said, gotta turn over my note, she said, Puffins remind me of my dream vacation to Alaska for our 40th anniversary. So I thought that was really cool. But the other cool thing about her name getting chosen is that she was the only person to comment on Facebook. And when I'm choosing the winner, I don't want to make people feel uncomfortable, like if they don't have a Gmail account or they don't want to go on YouTube. Sometimes people just watch it through my Facebook post. So I do include those, but I have no way of knowing how they fall into the other comments because I can rearrange the comments on YouTube to the newest first, and then when I do the random number generator, I start, from the earliest comments, and that's how I count. So she was number one, and she was the only one. So I thought, oh, isn't that a shame? Because, like, when does the random number generator ever pick one? Like, I feel bad for the people who post early on Facebook because it's just the way I have to do things in order to be able to include them. And I usually let it simmer for like 30 seconds, and then I hit pick the number, and it picked one, and I'm like, are you kidding me? This is so cool. So somebody was listening, and it picked number one. So I just thought that was really fun, Sharon. And Sharon's already a customer, so I already have her address, and the other two ladies will email me. Okay, and then for today, I have 2 copies of wedding confections from Meridian Designs, and Karen had donated these to me last year, and I thought since June is kind of considered wedding month, I would pick 2 winners for this. And there's 3 different designs. There's a place to personalize it if you really want to do it for your wedding or somebody else's who might appreciate it. But you could also use it just as a practice for making a biscornu, however you say it, because she gives directions in the back. So just tell me a brief wedding story, and maybe I'll tell you one of mine next time. Alrighty, we will see you next week. Let's see. I have a memorial to go to for a stitcher next Sunday afternoon. So I'm not sure when I'm going to do my video. I might still be able to do it that day because I usually do it late afternoon or early evening. But just in case, that's what I'm doing next Sunday if you don't see a video. Okay, I guess that's it. And have a good week, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.